it's such a big, complicated situation in the Sahel at the moment, the Sahel region in Africa. First, just break it down for us, if you will, for our viewers. What exactly is the history of the Sahel, and why is this area so dangerous today?
Well, these countries, after decolonization in the late 50s, early 60s, first the frontiers are artificial, they're the frontiers of colonization, so they cut across tribe and geography. Very often countries have different groups, like in Mali, where one group dominates the other. And this has been going on, intermittent sort of hostility, if not major rebellions in Mali over 60 years. Then you have the problem, tribal problems of access to resources. And all this was made, in a sense, much worse by the breakdown of Libya after the death of Gaddafi, where part of his troops, who were from northern Mali, who'd escaped repression from the south 30 years ago, came back to Mali with all the weapons in the dumps of Gaddafi, which the West never secured or never bombed. So that made a latent crisis. It turned into a very major crisis. And I think that this poses a number of questions about French, British, and American foreign policies. You will certain things, but you don't think through the consequences. The other question about this operation in particular is there are suggestions in some quarters that the American who was rescued worked for the CIA. Now, I do not know whether this is true or not, but if it is, that poses another question, because the Americans have poured a lot of resources into the region in the last 18 years. But I'm tempted to look back on American military engagement in the Middle East, which followed the advent of the Islamic Republic of Iran, 1979. And in those 40 years, the Americans have spent trillions of dollars. But is the whole region, Middle East and Sahel, safer today than it was then? I think these are the major questions beyond the bravery of these two French soldiers and the quality of these elite troops, which I think is absolutely unquestioned. I think these are the questions which really should be debated in France, in Britain, or other countries which participate in this kind of operation. Because as good as your army is, or your elite troops, if you don't have an overarching story, then things will end badly.